What we doing? What's going on, gang? How we doing? What's crack-a-lackin'? It's another day, another dollar. Start of the intro. I want to flex my cool little animation up here real quick. Check that out. Ace, agentic coding environment. Damn, that's clean. Look at that shit. Oh, damn. Anyway, it's a new day. I hope everyone has had a fantastic morning, afternoon, night, wherever you are. I tried to start the stream a little bit earlier because I saw a few of you guys were tuning in a bit late. So I'm an hour early this time. Maybe next time I can be an hour earlier than that. But today we are going to be continuing our progress with ACE, our agentic coding environment. Now, it's looking smooth. Yesterday we kind of fixed all the connector thingies. Like you can see it actually like moves around nicely and stuff. I can double click and it'll frame me nicely. I can click here and change like the interaction of the agents together. So what I kind of want to do is set the foundations up a little bit. I have noticed we have a chat environment and we have a board. And the concept is to kind of join these together so they feel a bit more connected. And right now we have this thing, you can see when I expand, it glitches out a little bit in the background. It's like not looking that nice. So the whole concept will be to improve this kind of chat because I want the whole app to feel connected. The whole concept is, you make your own little agentic workflow and then you open up the chat and it's almost like you're talking inside a ChatGPT UI interface, but with your custom agentic workflow that you've just used. But it doesn't feel like that right now. It feels a bit janky. It feels a bit yucky. So we're going to try and improve that. Tim, how we doing? PN, welcome back. It will be 12 a.m. for you right now, if I'm right. Eric, how we doing? What's good? What's good? What's good? ABC, always be creating. GM Doobie, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. But yeah, I'm excited to jump into this. Man, honestly, this app has brought back like a joy for vibe coding for me because I'm not gonna lie, when you just like build apps 24/7, I feel like for me at least, when I was doing it for like 3 months straight, there was a level of like, just a level of like, I kept tackling bigger and bigger ideas, like started small, then got bigger and bigger and bigger. It went from like a Premiere plugin to like a crypto mining tool to like a autonomous app factory. And so I feel like when we were looking into the autonomous app factory, OpenClaw was breaking a shit ton. It was kind of like, man, the challenge that is in front of me right now is really a really big challenge. And for someone who's non-technical, it was very hard to navigate around. And so creating an environment and kind of jotting down my thoughts on the challenges, right? On those challenges I was facing, I was kind of like, hang on a second, why don't I just create a tool that actually eliminates a lot of those challenges for me, and maybe it would be helpful for other people as well. And that's kind of how I came up with ACE, because I was like building this complex ass agentic workflow with OpenClaw, which kept breaking, by the way. I'm not going to get into that. And then trying to get it to deliver polished apps, which I could then publish to the App Store. And it was this really complicated workflow, right? And like each step inside of that could have been its own project inside of itself. And so thinking to myself, like, okay, how can I actually make this easier and more click and play? And like even building it through Conductor, it didn't feel like the right instrument to be building a tool like that. And so, yeah, it's a bit refreshing to be able to create my own environment where I can actually build inside of, and it's kind of fun. And honestly, if you haven't done it yourself, I kind of recommend it. Like think to yourself, what do I like about the tool that I'm using right now and what don't I like about it? Because there's pros and cons to every tool, right? But now you have the ability to just make your own tool. And if it's good enough, other people might want to try it too. And so that's kind of where my head's at. You know, if I'm going to keep vibe coding, which I will be for the distant future, then I might as well continue to improve and build on a tool over a longer period of time. Like, I know that the creators of Conductor as well, they use Conductor to build Conductor. And I just know this guy is on Conductor 24/7, and he's just constantly building out things and little gadgets and stuff. And then he's just updating Conductor as he sees fit. Like, you can see in the bottom left-hand side, he's got a new steering feature. You can now steer an agent while it's working, toggle follow-up behavior in settings. Really, really handy. And so that's kind of what I want to do with Duocode. I keep saying Duocode. I got to stop saying Duocode. It's Ace. This app you see in front of you used to be called Duocode. I've renamed it to Ace. And so that's kind of what I want Ace to be. I want to just keep working on Ace and just make this better and better the more that I use it. And yeah, really excited to have you guys along that journey. How you guys doing though? Try not waffling too much in the intro, but there we are. Monster Dev, how we doing? Damn, Monster Dev. You drinking too many monsters or what? Tim Combridge saying, boom. There's no better problem to solve than one you face yourself. That's how I came up with Prompter 2. Built a tool for me that I wanted to share to others. You're on the money, mate. I appreciate you, Tim. Yo, I tried Prompter the other day as well. Shout out Tim. He's built a pretty cool tool called Prompter where, you know, when I'm actually recording with my phone, I've noticed like people don't seem to care about quality that much. Like if you have a good mic, you can literally use your phone to record videos. Like that video that got 400,000 views, there isn't a single complaint about video quality in that video. And I recorded it from my front-facing camera on my phone. So there's a market for teleprompters, right? And I've been using this teleprompter, and it is a little bit frustrating because you need to adjust the speed, and some words are longer than others, and like it can be a bit tricky when you're recording and filming. And so seeing Tim build Prompter is really cool because what it actually does is it listens to you speak, and the teleprompter actually moves as you're speaking. So I actually thought that was really cool. It's got a few bugs which I brought up with Tim, so I'm excited to see like when this thing's polished up, and I actually genuinely think I would use it. So yeah, keep it up, Tim. Eric, how did you lose revenue since day 47? You are picking the revenue number. How are you? Did I lose revenue? What do you mean? Should be this. It should have been the same for like the last few live streams. Let me have a look. Usually what I do is on YouTube there's a setting and it says copy your previous live stream settings. And so literally that's all I do. I just copy the previous live stream settings, change the day name to whatever day it's been, and that's just how we roll. So along the way there might have been a discrepancy. Revenues looks the same. No, revenues has been the same, yeah. Oh, it went down by 30 cents. Okay. Wait. No, it's been the same. There's no difference. Yeah, I don't know where you're looking, but revenue's just been the same. Haven't increased, hasn't decreased. To be fair, I have spent a lot of the money that we've made already from this venture, mainly just on rent. I've spent it on upgrading equipment. Like I have like a light here now, as you can see. But yeah, nothing's really changed. Duocode just rolls off your tongue, unlike Ace. Yeah, that's true, but I feel like Ace is cooler because it's like agentic coding environment. You know what I mean? Duocode does kind of roll off the tongue. Maybe it's like a feature within the product. I don't know. I need to think about it. Like this synthesized answer, maybe it could like be rebranded into Duocode, but let's get straight into it today. The goal of today, guys, there is a goal, is I am yet to hit my Codex 5-hour limit yet. I've got the $200 20x plan, And I have not hit this once. Like, I tried freaking hard and I'm yet to hit this, because you can kind of see at one point in the last live stream, I had like 7 instances going on at the exact same time and it still didn't hit. So today I'm going to try and lock in, and I want to hit the 5-hour limit, because I don't know what's going on. Like, has anyone else hit with the same plan as me, hit that limit? Because I'm starting to think that this shit's unlimited. And we reset on the 7th of May. So we got 2 days. I think we can hit it. Let's try our best. Let's get straight into it. So let me just get rid of some of this, get rid of codecs. I really need to upgrade my laptop, man. I'm starting to notice, ever since I started streaming and Vibecoding at the same time, my laptop's like starting to give way. So if anyone got recommendations on a new laptop, then let me know. Preferably a MacBook. But yeah, all right, cool. So let's chuck on some music. Sick header. Cheers, bro. Like, look how clean that is. I love it. It's sick. Feels polished. Let's chuck some music on. Get straight into it. Try and... Is that a good amount? I think that's a good amount. All right, cool. Let's have a look at the poll. How many of you guys building? 80% of you guys are building something. 10% are not building something. 10% are thinking about it. Okay, interesting. So I'm assuming that 80% of you guys are working alongside me then. Yo, also let me know if you guys think this room's a bit echoey, because I'm thinking of getting some soundproofing, because I think the room's a little echoey at times. But yeah, just let me know. All right, let's try and pump out some instances. So I thought it would be kind of cute if every time we included a agent, it came up with a name. So we got Ziggy. If I were to bring another agent in here, we got Lulu. I just thought that would be kind of fun and help keep track of things. You'll notice on the left-hand side here, you've got different instances. So you can actually pop into another instance and have a completely new workspace inside of the repo. So what I kind of want long-term is, not only is this a coding environment, but it's also a space for you to build agentic workflows that can help you with script writing, or can help you with, you know, maybe dealing with clients and messaging them through Slack. Like, once I have the foundation set, I actually want to work on connectors. And connectors are going to be these things like creating a Discord bot with this workflow, creating a Slack bot with this workflow, and it's able to look through your Slack, creating maybe Gmail, like all these different connectors that actually make this useful. And part of one of those connectors is actually going to be the app factory. And you can actually connect, you know, your Apple account to this and build apps. That's the whole kind of long-term vision of this. So I think we just need to get the foundation set, and we should get into it. Doobie, what is the name of the app you're using? This app I'm building is called Ace, but this app that I'm using to build Ace is called Conductor. So yeah, this one is unreleased and is kind of the app that I'm building right now. Have it so that blinking orange line stays with the arrows. Yeah, I need to fix that. Let's make that the first prompt. Let's make that the first prompt. Actually, maybe we just want it to focus. You can see that. Which one can I go? Let's go. The glowing arrow, it feels a little off because the glow overlaps with the pointing arrow. So can we actually make that glow a little more thinner and minimalistic and stop at the arrowhead? so we no longer have that overlap. Yeah, that's been bothering me for a while too. As a bit of fun, you should have themed name packs. So like Friends, Joey, Phoebe, Rachel, Silicon Valley, Dinesh, Richard, could be a bit of fun. That's cool. I like that idea. It's called Ace. He's building it, agentic coding environment. Yes, sir. Attach it to the dashes. That's a good, yeah, let me make that the next prompt. Can we attach the glow to the little dashes that are moving and flowing? Because right now they feel a bit disconnected. But if the glow actually comes from the tiny little dash lines, I think that would actually be the best. Hey, we're warming up, right? My prompts aren't polished right now, but we're gonna get there. So I've got that queued up for the next prompt. Over here, we've got getting a lot of, so I was getting a lot of issues on my Gmail. Do you guys know why this might be the case? Let me actually check with you guys. So you can kind of see here, I'm getting these errors where it says publish geocode runtime /verify failed 1 minute and 1 second. Any idea why this might be happening? I don't think it's affecting us that much, but yeah, just trying to understand why this is happening. Publish geocode runtime /verify. And it's happened a few times here. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me know if you have any ideas as to why that might be the case. Will Ace be a downloadable software like Claude and Codex? Yeah, it will be. And the whole reason for it being a downloadable software is so that you can actually connect it to your pre-existing subscriptions. So if you run Claude subscription and you have the Pro plan or you have Codex Pro plan, you can actually run those subscriptions through Ace. So that's the whole point of it being downloadable. And that's exactly how I run Conductor. If it was a web app, you actually wouldn't be able to do that and you'd have to pay for the API. So I've made sure that it's cheaper for everyone if we make it downloadable, and it's also way more like configurable as well. Okay, let me get rid of the, keep it. Fix board chat expansion. So I still feel like there's a lot of issues with the expansion of the board chat. Right now you can kind of see like when it's like this, minimized, that it looks clean. I like the minimized version, but as soon as I click the expand, it feels as if it doesn't like work properly. I don't know how to fully explain it, but like the expanded chat is still getting issues with the background kind of glitching out and flashing. It flashes between like white and like more transparent. And I feel like maybe there's two layers that are conflicting with each other. I also feel like the expanded chat, it doesn't like connect with the pre-existing element of the workspace prompt. When I press the expand chat arrow, it almost feels like a completely new environment. I don't really see like the animation that well. It's way too quick. It just expands and it almost feels like it teleports to the top. So I'm not sure how long of a time how long of a time that animation goes for, but I think it should last for at least 1 second, one whole second of the chat closing and expanding. And I also think that the little chat box in which you type your prompt, it should remain the same. You can kind of see we've got this specific color where it's like got an orange button and it's white and it's like this chat bar, but when I expand it, then it feels more like neon. Like there's this kind of purple neon element that comes into play, and I don't fully understand why. I get it for the synthesized answer, but I don't get why the actual chat box has to look like that. And yeah, it just feels disconnected. It's a pop-up modal when you expand. Yo, deliver studio. Whose startup is that? Whose startup is that? Will ACE be a download? Yeah, it will show you the actual error as to why it's failing. It's a pop-up modal when you expand. Can you please tell us how to set up Duo Code? Duo Code will be available. It's not available yet. It will be available when it actually works and it doesn't look like this. See, this might be where an error log would be handy. I'm trying to think if I could send a video. But yeah, I don't know why I'm seeing a lot of issues with this specific function. The whole app has been very smooth apart from implementing this. Okay, we got the friendly names thing sorted. Duplicate runtimes, remove that. Okay, so let's do this. I feel like there is a little bit of a disconnect between the actual functionality of the chat section and the board. And I think it might be because there's multiple different settings that want different things. So if you look at the top right, there's headers where you can turn on and off different agentic agents. And that kind of impacts the chat, but it also impacts the whiteboard. Now, what's to say the whiteboard now only has 2 agents, but there's 3 agents turned on in the top header? Or what if there was only 1 agent in the whiteboard, but there's 2 agents turned on in the top header? It kind of almost makes sense that we remove the headers entirely as a setting, because now that we have the whiteboard, that is kind of the source of truth in terms of what agents should be used to synthesize answers inside of the chat. And I think we need to bolster and improve the overall connection. So if the user only has 1 AI agent inside of the whiteboard, then we need to only be seeing a response from that single agent. If a user has 2, 3, 4, however many, then we need to see a response from all of those agents. So I think that needs to be tightened up, that functionality. Maybe I'll just take a little screenshot of this header. Actually, I could probably take a screenshot of this whole thing, make a bit more sense. Another thing is this little menu bar on the right hand side. Where are you coding this? Where are you coding this? Is it Codex? I'm using Conductor, and Conductor connects to Claude. It connects to Codex. So you can see I've got 2 options here, Codex and Claude, and I can run multiple instances on the left hand side. So the aim, and when I know that ACE is a success, is when I no longer feel like I need to use Conductor to build it and I can start using ACE. That's when I know that I've succeeded. Trying to release my project soon. Hope you can test it out. Doobie, yeah, 100%, bro. I'll test it out for you. I'll give you some brutal feedback though. Like be prepared to get roasted if it's shit. All right, let's test out this Workspace prompt. What is the circumference of the sun? Oh, this doesn't let me, it tells me that the spelling's wrong, but it doesn't let me correct it. So even that is worth bringing up, actually. It shows a dotted line telling me that the spelling of the word is wrong, but then it won't let me right click to use the correct spelling and give me the correct spelling. So can we include this feature? Okay. I think it could be ference, circumference. Yep, okay. Paste that in. And now I don't see anything happening. Using ace claude.felix using workflow mode. So I've asked a question. Following environment. Okay, so maybe this will work. Let's say I got rid of this. Wait, what? Looks like the arrows have changed colors. Which is a bit weird. Get rid of this. Okay, let me try this now. What is the circumference of the sun? So I don't like that there's nothing showing here. When I when I gave it a system prompt from the minimized chat, I got a little notification on the bottom right hand side saying the agentic workflow was being used, but I didn't feel like it was actually, there was no kind of animation or anything popping up inside of the actual whiteboard to tell me that things were working. For example, if we send a chat inside of the actual chat interface, we get that little animation that shows synthesizing between Claude and Codex. And I feel like that animation should also be shown inside of the synthesized answer section. We should be seeing that animation so we know that it's working, and we should be seeing that timer. Those same sort of nuances and features that we've added inside of the chat history, when we go into the actual chat side of the app, should be implemented into the actual whiteboard side as well. So if I go hey here, you can see, boom, straight away I get this. This should be kind of happening inside of the synthesized answer block in the whiteboard, because this at the end of the day is an output block. So the output block should be showing us that either it's working if we've sent a prompt with the timer and the animations, and I'll leave it at that. All right, let's send this. I feel like my prompting is a bit janky right now. What makes Conductor useful in your opinion? I just prefer it as it is nice and simple with multiple different chat interfaces. I've tested a few, and this kind of just was the best for me. I like that I can kind of go in here and give each different agent like its own prompt specific to the workspace that I'm inside of. I can do multiple different workspaces at the same time. Like I could run 2 projects if I wanted to. I see a lot of benefits to Conductor. It's also Mac OS native, So, you know, being a Mac user myself, I just prefer using Mac OS native apps because I feel like they're better, and that utilizes the Mac kind of environment fully. Silly Led, what's cracking? It's a more helpful terminal. You can have tabs of terminals open like a browser and switch between easily, and loads of other features the default terminal doesn't offer you. Yes, exactly. Use Warp if you're on Windows. They open sourced it recently. Yes, they did. I did see that actually. Do any of you know a cheaper way to read PDF files using OCR? Not really. I haven't really looked into PDF file reading, but I think of the files, PDFs are the most token consuming to read. Do you feel like you have hit the ceiling? Seems like you've been a while since the amount of money you made went up. I think it's more because I've been focusing in other areas. Like with YouTube, I've been focusing on long form videos. So you can see, you know, my YouTube's been popping off. So my actual focus hasn't really been on the challenge or the live streams. Kind of like what I said yesterday about the pencil versus spread focus. I was just pencil focused on YouTube and making my YouTube channel grow. And so you can see in the last month, we've doubled in subscriber count. Because that was my goal. So now I'm looking to switch back into this, and you know, I think it's okay to not be earning revenue for a little while. And, you know, I'm fine with showing that because I think we can normalize it a little bit. You don't need to be making revenue all the time. Sometimes you need to set up and build your project out to a level that you're happy with. You know, we've got an email list of over 3,000 people in it. So if I really wanted to sell something, I'm pretty confident that I could. It's just, at this point in time, I want to sell something that I'm happy with. And yeah. What's the automated voice writer called, or did you write it yourself? It's called Whisperflow. I always see your shorts. I mean, I'd be posting every day, so. Oh my God, we're vibe fluting. Yeah, flute maxing, bro. So there seems to be an error with Gemini right now. Failed to authenticate. I got these errors right here. Few errors you can see just in the screenshot. The first is when I asked for the circumference of the sun, it showed me a calculation with text that I could copy, but there's nothing inside of the text bar, as you can see. I don't actually see the calculation at all. Then I said, hey, and it said failed to authenticate. So can we look into fixing these issues? So when I go to copy this, I just hit copy inside of the text interface and the whole chat text bubble just disappeared. Let's get Opus 4.7 to review. We get Opus 4.7 to review this as well. Get Opus 4.7 to review this too. Authentication required. Really? Hold up. Why are they making me authenticate again? I feel like I'm doing this like every other week at this point. I gotta restart Conductor now. Oh, God damn it. Alright. Let's go back in here. Continue. continue, man, how many of these? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different agentic instances twerking right now for us. Yeah, OCR costs are around 0.0045. I'm working on an AI law agent, but some of my clients have more than 7,000 PDFs. Yo, true. Yo, that's interesting. That's like a roadblock that I didn't even consider. But if someone was to build a AI specifically for lawyers, that is like PDF galore. That's really interesting. I wonder if the world's going to shift now, because I think as AI agents become more and more kind of common, I can see people actually leaning less and less towards PDFs. Either that, or AI agents just get so good that it doesn't really matter. Should be a faster way to continue, lol. Yeah, that should be a feature that they should implement. I've built, bro, and they probably have more than 7,000 PDFs. Yeah, exactly. 100%. Okay, no bugs found for this. Cool. Minor non-blocking observations. Maybe I'll just let that know. All right, what else can we fix? I think we could probably fix this left-hand bar a little bit. We've got agent, we've got document. So let's say I bring this out in here. What are my options here? Hey, hi. Can I send like a full-on script inside of this? Like if I go to my documents and I just chuck in a whole YouTube script. Let's just chuck in this entire script. Inside of here, what's gonna happen? Okay, so we've got this now. And it has this entire script. Okay, now if I was to just remove this and I just type, please recite the document's contents back to me. Let's see if that works. I just want to make sure it's connected, you know? See, even now you can see that I have the animation. There's no document attached to this conversation, no file paste or attachment. Okay, now that is a problem. Currently, when a document is attached to the AI agent as context, nothing seems to actually be happening, because if you review the screenshots that I just sent, when I just told the agent to recite the document that it was attached to, it came back with nothing. And it said that nothing was connected to it, that it has no context. So it looks like this connection is actually just fluff right now. So can we actually make sure that it works? let's merge. And then we could probably archive this. Okay, so it did find some issues. Can you look into this a little deeper? Because I have noticed that this specific expanded chat function is messing up a lot. It's glitchy. I've probably been working on this for a few hours now, and we've probably had multiple different AI agents working on this exact functionality. So can you do a bit more of a deep dive into the entire code base behind this expanded chat and look into why it might be glitching out and not functioning the way that we want it to? Add these to your findings on top. Oh shit. Hey, Suv, how you doing, bro? What's crack-a-lackin'? I got my cousin in the chat. Cousin? Family friend. I mean, we're all kind of cousins in Nepal. Screen froze again? Yeah, I wonder why it keeps doing that. Let me see how I can fix that. Yeah, I wonder why it's doing that. Payne, how we doing, bro? I think PDFs is still going to be a large document people use. It'd be nice if you had some indicator of vibe coding versus talking to chat on overlay Doobie. Yeah, I mean, there's the little thing at the bottom here you can see. You can see at the bottom when I talk, there is a tiny little thing down here. And that lights up, you can see. So every time I talk and I'm providing a code or a prompt, this thing pops up. Saw your vid with Orangey. Oh shit, he posted that already? No way. Has he posted it already? I don't think he's posted it yet. Nah, he would have told me if he did. Which vid are you talking about? I'm one of the dumb people who bought a Mac Mini in the OpenClaw hype phase. Now the new thing is Claude Code and Codex. In layman terms, where is the money at using AI? No content creation, not content creation. I mean, I reckon there's always going to be room. Think about this, right? There are thousands of companies in the US. There's thousands of companies in Europe, in Australia. In Western countries, there are maybe even hundreds of thousands of companies, okay? Now, in the last 3 years, you gotta understand, companies move slow. But in the last 3 years, there's been this new buzzword that's popped up that is on everyone's brain and mind, and it's everywhere they look, in every post, in every review comment, in every financial report. There's this buzzword that everyone's using. It's called AI, okay? Now these big companies, they don't have someone in the company that knows AI professionally, okay? They don't have this. This role is greatly underserved right now. The ability to understand AI and implement it into people's organizations and improve and make more efficiently their certain workflows and stuff like that. They don't have someone to do that, and there aren't many people providing that right now because it's such a new space, okay? And these companies pay a shit ton of money, okay? Like I'm talking $10, $20, $30,000 retainers is nothing to them because you're talking to the S&P 500s of the world, right? So there is room for you to literally understand this like the back of your hand and figure out, okay, how can I actually implement this into other companies? You know, providing a service, creating a retainer, and kind of operating like that. That's one option. Because the thing that you'll notice that stays the same is, you know, sure, one day we're talking about OpenClaw, sure, the next day we're talking about Claude or Codex or whatever it is. But the thing that stays the same is that it's all just AI. It's all AI under the hood. So you need to understand AI, and you need to understand how you can implement it into not just your own workflows, but that's probably a good start, but other people's workflows as well, and how you can help other people benefit from AI. I think that is your best bet in layman terms on how to make money with AI. It'd be nice if you also, do you feel like if you'd done those live streams daily, you would have hit the same amount of money in a shorter amount of time, or maybe more money? Yeah, I reckon if I did the live streams daily and I didn't stop, I probably hit the target by now. I reckon, for sure. But also, like, worth considering that the time that I have apart has given me the creative freedom to come up with the products and ideas that make me the money as well. So I guess you can kind of look at it from both ends. I think AI is the future for real. Dude, AI is going to be implemented into everything. It's going to be implemented into your grocery list. It's going to be implemented into how you drive to work in the morning. It's going to be implemented into how you interact with your mobile device. It's going to be implemented in my mic. And every time I speak, there's going to be an AI that enhances my voice when it goes out into the live stream, so you don't hear the echoes in my room. AI is literally going to be implemented into every little facet of your life within the next like 50 years, maybe even shorter than that. And so you need to think about all those opportunities that arise with that. We're going to have like AI thinking in the future. That's how I feel about it. I feel like, dude, we might even have brain chips going in our brain, and now we have like enhanced thinking with AI. Dude, imagine this future where there's like, brain chips have just come out, right? And it's obviously like super experimental and it's like very new, but they've just come out and they're able to enhance your thinking. But obviously it's like quite new. So you'd be like one of the first, I guess, group of people, almost like when the folding phones first came out, you'd be like the first group of people to be buying a folding phone, but you'd be the first group of people to be buying a brain chip. But it fully enhances your brain. Are you doing it, or are you waiting? And I can see almost there being like this segregation, and there's like a group of people who have all these brain chips and they're like going on dates together and shit, and they're having like super advanced conversations. And then there's like the normies like us, and we're just there like chilling, like enjoying our lives as inferior individuals. When do you think the window closes? Bro, the window is wide open for like the next 10 years, man. And if you start now, you will have more experience than the people who start, you know, a few years from now. And you could be like one of the head honchos in your area or in your side of the world that implements AI for businesses. All right, all my agents have stopped working, which means I've been rambling too much. I love AI, but I'll stay 100% organic, thanks. Fair take. But it could enhance everything. It could enhance the way you think. Like imagine you had like an unfair advantage because of this AI chip, but you had to be one of the first to like use it. I think sometime in the future we are going to be able to put our brain in like a database. Joe Gum, what's cracking, bro? Haven't seen you in a minute. I'm good, bro. I'm good. How are you? Good to see you in here. Alright. So let's look at this expanded chat. New deep dive findings. Nice. So let me chuck this in here. Good. This is what I wanted. I think we can merge this. And I think we could probably continue here. I think we could. Is this merge? You need to restart to activate the pooled runtime. I'm aware. It's attached to the AI as context nothing. Seems like implemented and shipped. Maybe I'll just get a review on this. Chengdu. I feel like there is a little bit of disconnect. Okay. Okay. System prompt from the minimized chat. I got a little notification. Okay, cool. I noticed inside the chat interface, when there is only one agent replying, I still get the animation for both of them, which doesn't fully make sense since there's only one AI agent in there. So I think we almost need to create like a different like loading animation style thing for when there's only one agent. And we also need to consider like if that agent is Claude or Codex or Gemini, because right now I'm just seeing Claude and Codex talking. What about Gemini when it's in the mix? What about when it's only Claude? What about when it's only Codex? This one was about, I feel like there's a little disconnect between the chat section and the board. Different settings that want different things. Okay. I think we could probably close this one. A few errors you can see, just a screenshot. Okay. I'm gonna let this sit for a second so all the merges come through and we'll update the app and test it. No, I can't be enhanced. I'm already the best, let's be real. I'm down for the chip if we go that way, Doobie. I'd consider it. I'd consider it. If it gave you an unfair advantage. Like, it's almost like when TikTok first came out and everyone was like, nah, TikTok ain't gonna be that big. And I think it's because it was replacing Vine or Musical.ly or something. And they were like, oh, not this shit again. But then TikTok blew up. So if you were like one of the first content creators to be making videos on TikTok, like the Charlie D'Amelios of the world, you'd actually be like really big right now because the competition was way less, but they were growing at such a fast rate. You can see now, right, that everyone's on TikTok, at least like a good portion of the younger audience. So if you were one of the content creators back then, when it was growing at such a fast rate, you probably would have like grown quite easily and the competition would have been a lot less. Okay, got some issues here. All right, think this has been going for long enough. Let's give it a restart and let's test some of these things again. I want to see how it goes if I give it a URL. So let's try that too. Let's close this out. I mean, it's better. Still feeling like there's issues with it, but let's see if this works now. Please recite. Maybe I'll give it a new piece of context. Chuck music back on. All right, I've got just a random piece of text here. Let's close that. Maybe actually I'll call this design Claude design tips. Okay. Please recite the document in your context. Oh, this is cool. But again, there's only one agent there, so it doesn't make sense that there's two. And we got iterate with your engineers live. Okay, cool. Yes, nice. Context is working. Cool, that's working. Here is another example of me talking to Claude, and there's only one agent in the whiteboard, but I got the animation for both of them talking to each other again, which can be a bit confusing and isn't fully right. Get that queued up. Okay, so I'm assuming this is all fixed now. Let's give it another review. Thoughts on base 44? I don't mind it. If you're new and you're starting out, I think base 44 is a great place to start. How can get into all of that? I work in IT support. Any suggestions for a beginner? Into all of what exactly? Like building with AI? I think a good place to start is literally just downloading Claude. It's called Claude AI, if you've heard of it. This one right here. Honestly, just download this, or if you've got a ChatGPT subscription, you actually already have access to Codex, which is their AI coding model, so you don't even have to pay anything extra. And just go into the coding environment here and just try and build something super simple that you think could help you in your daily life. And try and make it like one feature, two features max. Don't like overcomplicate it. And then you're gonna learn so much just from doing that. And that's how you get started. That's the first step. Hi, you building with Codex and Claude at the same time? Yes, I have Claude. I have Codex build the whole app, and then I have Claude design it, and I also have Claude review all of Codex's work and provide feedback. That's kind of the whole setup right now. I was skeptical on Bitcoin, and I think I missed that part when it first came out. So what, you think AI is like the same kind of opportunity vibe? I see that. So now I should be able to download these as different documents. I don't like that it does that. Let's see if this fixes things, but thanks for role clarifications. All good, bro. How much are you spending on Codex and Claude? I have the Codex $200 a month subscription, and I have the Claude $200 a month subscription. I just got them 2 max plans, and I also got the Gemini Pro plan. That's about it. The way that I look at it is like, you know, building a business has costs, right? Whether it's drop shipping, whether it's like starting a clothing brand, you got to either pay the designer, design yourself, or even order like samples. There's always going to be expenses. Building a website, all these things have expenses, right? So for me to only pay $500 a month and have the upside, which is infinite, selling the apps that I build, I think is totally worth it. Is there a way to save credits on my Claude code? Yeah, check out my recent video called Never Hit Claude's Usage Limits Again. There's a bunch of tips there on how to do it. But one tip I can recommend you right now is there is this thing called Caveman, which basically makes your Claude talk like a caveman in its simplest form. And what it kind of does is it can cut 75% of your output tokens. So here's an example. Your normal Claude, this response takes 69 tokens, okay? The reason your React component is re-rendering is likely because you're creating a blah, 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 blah. And what happens is every single word costs like 3/4 of a token, okay? And so here is an example of it being simplified because of Caveman. New object ref each render. Inline object prop equals new ref equals re-render, wrap in use memo. Like it just goes straight to the point, and there's like different options here. So you can go light mode, full mode, ultra, and then apparently this is like meant to save you even more tokens. But yeah, I think if you want something super simple, plug and play, then try this. And if you want to go a bit more deeper, then check out my video called Never Hit Claude's Usage Limits Again. All right, hopefully this fixes the board chat is what I'm trying to refine. Does that give you more tokens, or how do tokens even work? So basically how a token works is the way that these AI companies charge you is they give you tokens, right? And so if you go into like my usage, you can see like my current session has used 15% of my available tokens. This has used 11% of all models, and you can kind of look in through this. I've already used 100% of my tokens available for Claude Design. So it turns out they're actually losing money on Claude Design right now. Every prompt or design that you provide costs them $2 to $5 that they're losing. And I think that's just because they're trying to take Figma's market share right now. But this is how usage works, right? And usage is based off of tokens. And so every time you give Claude a prompt, you're using tokens. So you can see here, it cost me 137,000 input tokens, and 300,000 output tokens. And then cache read means that it doesn't cost as much because the information is cached for up to 5 minutes, which reduces your token usage. Now, you don't need to know all that. You just need to know that tokens are used when you prompt AI. So what you can do is you can reduce your tokens by using tools like Caveman, and it will help you kind of, one, potentially move to a cheaper model because you're very conscious of your token usage. So maybe you can get a lot more out of a cheaper model. Maybe you only need to use the Pro plan. Two, you also just don't need to spend as much money. I just like using the Max plan because I don't need to worry about that. I just want to be able to build my app, because I feel like my credits burn when making my software I'm currently building. Yeah, you got the setup. Have you tried Grok Imagine? The videos you can make are pretty nuts. I actually haven't fully explored Grok that much, which is interesting. I probably should because I've got it like by default through my X subscription. Oh wow, that's great. Thanks for that. Oh good. Glad I could help, man. All right, let's see if these functions actually work. Give it a restart. Okay. So let's see. Expand chat. Feels cleaner. It's just super glitchy, like. I almost want to like redo this entire expanded chat. Oh, actually we haven't merged it yet. Let's see. Okay, let's merge this. This is a big chat expanding update, so hopefully this fixes our issue. Now the next thing is actually, I think URL repo should be different. I think in the left-hand sidebar menu, it says document, which gives you file, URL, or repo. But I think those are all actually separate things that we should attach for, because a file with just text is going to be handled differently to a URL versus a repo. So I think the idea should actually be, these are all different things that we can include onto the whiteboard. And I think we should actually change it so that it's icons. So for an agent, we could use like a robot emoji. For a document, we could use like the document icon. For a URL, we could use like the little chain link icon. For a repo, we can use a GitHub logo. Output, you can figure that out. Action, I don't even think we need actions anymore because they're automatically generated within the strings and we can right click and change them. So I think we could probably remove actions as well. I've watched your video on your app system automation and was just wondering how could I get started with OpenClaw and setting up. I have a great gaming PC. I mean, honestly, if you want to get into agentic automation, instead of OpenClaw, I might even recommend you Hermes Agent. I've got a tutorial coming out tomorrow on it. And I think OpenClaw just keeps crashing, man. I've tried so hard to make OpenClaw work, like maybe 2-3 months, and it works for a period of time and then it just breaks. I think Hermes Agent is an alternative that is a lot more reliable. So you should look into Hermes Agent, man. All right, this is a big update, so let's see if it worked. Yeah, this is working. Now let's go ahead and add this agent. Refine board chat expansion, match progress UI to active models, tighten ACE document context prompts. All right. Thank you so much. I'm mainly looking to learn automating systems with AI for marketing and in general real estate so I can make my dad's work more efficient. That was really helpful. Thank you so much. You know, I don't even think you need to have AI agents for that. Like, you could honestly get Claude, and Claude has this function where you can actually get it to run cron jobs, and I don't know if it's available inside of the app, but it's available on their website. If you go to Claude, you can see here that you can go to, I think, settings. Where is it? Capabilities. I saw it here somewhere. But you have the ability to, where is it? Might even be in co-work. Routines, here it is. So you can set up routines where it kicks off a scheduled task and you can basically get it to configure things. So what you can do is, if you're looking to get the agent to do something at a certain time every day, like maybe it's read a roster, maybe it's, you know, give you a summary of all the clients that you have coming up or the home kind of open homes that you have available, you could go into routines and set that up and can just do it through Claude Code. So yeah, I think Claude is very reliable and efficient. So honestly, if you can do it through Claude Code, I think you should do it rather than jumping into something that requires a lot of brain work like Hermes. Yes! The expanded chat officially works, guys. Thank God. Thank freaking God, man. Took long enough. And I can scroll up and it's got, yes. Dude, I've been trying to get this feature to work for freaking bare time, man. I get a freaking toilet break because of that, man. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. And I lost my beanie along the way. So let's see. We've got all right. Use board agents for progress UI. I might get a review on this. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate that so much. All good, bro. Glad I could help. Okay, let's give this a restart. We're gonna get split ace insert rail context blocks, use board agents for progress UI, refine board chat expansion. Okay, let's see how we go. Okay, so we got an emoji, robot emoji. Looks a bit different from the rest, but that's fine. URL. Okay, so for the URL, for the URL, we should do the same as what we do with an agent when it first drops, where there's a pop-up menu, bubble menu, where you can kind of click the different AI agents. But instead of AI agents, we should just have a little text box where they can paste the URL. And once the URL is pasted, are we able to actually embed that link so we can see like if there is like maybe a thumbnail for a YouTube video or a title of an article that can pop up, make it feel a bit more interactive and live. With the GitHub repo, similar sort of vibe. Can we do the same thing? I don't think we need this additional text box inside the URL. Like it just needs that little pop-up menu to pop up, and then you can just type it, paste in your URL, and then the app should automatically be able to fill in any information that it needs, give it a title, an image potentially, etc. Now let's test out. I feel like you might 100x your workflow if you just used Visual Code. Visual Code. Oh, VS Code. Why is that? I feel like it's a bit too complex for me. Like you gotta understand, I'm non-technical. So I'm seeing this shit and I'm like, dude, like this is out of my depths. Like tell me why you think Visual Code is better than what I'm doing right now with Conductor. I'm curious. All right, let's give a prompt. Who are the top 5 philosophers of the modern age. Okay, reading intent, understanding your prompt. So it comes out with the response, but I'm getting this. I don't love the animation that Codex came up with, so can you actually look into improving the animation? Making it better, more alive, more fun? I know why that keeps popping up. This was regarding the expansion. This was regarding a few errors you can see in the screenshot. Showed me a calculation with text. Okay, let's do this. You can see on the whiteboard, the output is showing something different to the latest chat that was given. The hell? Can you see the changes made? Let me actually go. Give me a full summary of this chat to give to another agent, including the branch, commit, etc., and the task. This is the expanded chat one. So I will say this workspace prompt is interacting the way I want it to, but it feels a little bit too big right now. The chat is finally interacting the way that I want it to. However, the minimized workspace text bar is a bit too big. Could we shrink it down to be a bit thinner? Only a little bit bigger than the actual run button. That way we can actually see the mini map, for example, and it takes up less space overall than it needs to. Read all this. When you understand, say yes. Nah, VS Code is just a clean UI. That's just a file example, Doobie. I get you though. I can tell you why you don't want to try it first. you have your workflow and it's working for you. The philosophy, every time I have a breakthrough, I feel like I can't change anything again. I mean, that's fair. Andrew Tate, the number one philosopher. But having your code next to you and working through folders is very useful. I'm new to Vibecoding. Thank you for the stream. All good. Dropping in screenshots into folders for one. With Visual Studio, you can use both Codex and Claude in the same project also. That's the same with Conductor. Hey, quick question. So what are you doing for agentic programming in terms of subscriptions, API fees? Are you using just a Claude Code subscriber? Are you paying for Codex? Yes, I have a max plan for Codex and a max plan for Claude. Are you using cheaper models for easier tasks, etc.? Not really, because budget isn't really a concern for me. I'm just looking to get the thing done. Are you applying or posting somewhere to get a project for Vibecoding? What do you mean? It's also better for your agent's memory, and when compounded with LLM Wiki, it's insane. LLM Wiki. Interesting. I mean, VS Code, for one, I haven't seen too many people recommend it. I think if I was to change IDEs, it would probably be Cursor or Ace, which is the IDE that I'm building. So I don't love the animation that Codex has come up with for singular agents inside the whiteboard, and when there's triple agents inside the whiteboard either. So can we actually come up with a new animation to occur when the agent is thinking? It needs to be fun. Similar to the synthesizing animation that we had when Claude and Codex were talking. It needs to just feel kind of cool, and it shows that looping, loading expression that a user would want to see to know that their prompt is working. So if I said, hey, you can see this is what it looks like right now. If I added Codex, and then let's say I added Gemini, and then I said, hey again, I'm now getting this animation. Feels like we could do better where maybe there's different colored orbs that identify the different models. So you've got the orange orb, you've got the green orb, and you've got the blue orb for Gemini. And they kind of intertwine with one another to show that they're talking to each other. Let's see how Claude goes with this task. This is the first time I'm giving Claude a task outside of reviewing code. So let's see. VS Code is probably the global standard for IDEs, but not the only one, if that makes sense. Are you using VS Code, Tim? What do you use? I tried Cursor, it's good. Never seen this Ace though. Honestly, take our wiki LLM. I've basically uploaded my whole company to it, and it knows every direction my business is going. With your experience in agency work, you'd really benefit. Really? And are you saying that's a feature that's only available with VS Code? The wiki LLM? Or is that like a different thing entirely? Because I've actually never heard of this before. Wait, is this Andre Karpathy's thing? Oh, yes. No, I have heard of this. A pattern for building personal knowledge bases using LLM. This is an idea file. It is designed to be copy-pasted to your own LLM agent. The core idea. Most people experience with LLMs and documents looks like RAG. You upload a collection of files, the LLM retrieves relevant chunks at query time and generates an answer. This works, but the LLM is rediscovering knowledge from scratch on every question. There's no accumulation. Ask a subtle question that requires synthesizing 5 documents, and the LLM has to find a piece together the relevant fragments every time. Nothing is built up. Notebook LLM, ChatGPT, file uploads, and most RAG systems work this way. The idea here is different. Instead of just retrieving from raw documents at query time, the LLM incrementally builds and maintains a persistent wiki, a structured interlinked collection of markdown files that sits between you and the raw source. When you add a new source, the LLM doesn't just index it for later retrieval, it reads it. I think my screen's frozen again. Dude, I need to fix this. Extract the key information and integrates it into the existing wiki, updating entity pages, revising top summaries, noting where new data contradicts old claims, strengthening or challenging the evolving synthesis. The knowledge is compiled once and then kept current, not re-derived on every query. This is the key difference. The wiki is a persistent compounding artifact. Cool. This might be something I gotta look into for a stream. Bookmark this for later. Appreciate that, man. That sounds super interesting. Depends on the project. For Salesforce stuff, VS Code is where I live. Same with Chrome extensions, but iOS, Xcode, and Terminal. Web also sometimes for VS Code. Did you get a situation where you have to step and fix the code yourself? I mean, for me, it's not possible. So I always have AI fixing and debugging my own codes. It's effectively creating a 2D brain. I've created 4 apps since moving over to this file system, that and superpowers. I've heard of superpowers. I was thinking about this before. Would RAG solve the 7K plus legal docs issue, creating a vector database more efficient? That's a good point. I could see that actually. I mean, that's what it's for, right? Isn't that the whole point of RAG? Okay, let's just review this quickly. Okay, we added live URLs. So let's see if this works. I've got a URL for a Twitter post. Is that gonna work? Let me try this. Let's add this in here. Paste this. See, it could be cool if it showed the actual tweet. This is what it looked like after adding the tweet URL. This is what the tweet was about. So it should have actually incorporated the image of the tweet and potentially showing the tweet itself. I'd like the URL to be able to share the contents of the tweet or the URL. So if there is, a YouTube video, it shows the YouTube thumbnail and the title. If there is a tweet, it shows the image and the tweet. If there's an article, it shows the article titles. And yeah, I want this to be an embedded link so that users are able to see the actual contents of the link. let's try a repo, a GitHub repo. We've got the auto research skill here. Okay, well, another issue here is when adding a GitHub repo link, the title and just started wigging out and overlapping outside of the block. I think it could be cool if the link, the block was able to show maybe how many GitHub stars that it has for one. Make it feel a bit more alive, interactive. What kind of plugin are you making? I'm making Ace, which is an agentic coding environment where anyone with any level of knowledge could come in here and make more complex agentic environments and agentic workflows. So for example, if you wanted to create a script writer in your tone of voice, you could do that by connecting, Claude and ChatGPT together. The reason I actually built this was because I would get Claude and ChatGPT to go back and forth to create a PRD document. And I just found that that was the best way to start a project, right? And I would find myself spending hours going back and forth between Claude and ChatGPT on this PRD document. So I was like, why don't I just build an app that does that for me? So this tool was originally called Duocode because it automated that process. And then I took it a step further and I was like, hang on a second, why don't I just make this way like a whiteboard, Miro, white sort of vibe where you can actually come in here and I want to add features where you can actually brainstorm ideas. There's notepads and diagrams that you can kind of do up, and then you can connect those diagrams as context for your agent and build out this more complicated workflow. You can start agent loops. I want to have kind of connectors in here so that you can like easily create like a Discord bot. I think it's different to N8N because N8N, there's still like a barrier to entry. You need to understand what N8N is and you need to learn it, and you need to attach your APIs and stuff like that. This, because it's an app that you download, is already going to have access to Claude if it's already on your machine, Codex and Gemini. So yeah. So Ace is your thing? Yes. This is what I've been building. Yes, this whole thing, this is my app that I've been working on. Stale, okay. Merge. Nice, looks cool. Thanks, man. Devil's advocate. What if N8N built an agentic connector so replaced the need for API setup? Would that kill Ace? That's a good question. I think the way that I look at it is I'm building this tool for myself, and I'm building this tool because I know that I genuinely had a problem when I first started vibe coding. People are talking about loops. People are talking about, all these complex kind of agentic workflows. And as someone who was very new to this space, I didn't know how to, I guess, do it for myself. And so I want to build a tool that is super simple to follow. That like you can literally come in here and understand like, okay, that's ChatGPT, that's Claude, and now they're talking to each other. Like, I don't know if N8N, if they added what you've just mentioned, will take market share over this, because I don't think their tool is built the way that I built this tool, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like the problem and the vision that they're trying to solve and that they have for their tool is different to the problem and the vision that I have for this tool. You know, my vision is that this works for anyone non-technical that doesn't know anything about code or AI. That's what this tool is built for. I don't know if N8N has that same vision and that same problem that they're trying to solve. So I think it would be different. And I also think I want this to be an environment that you can actually build and flesh out your ideas for as well. So what could happen here is, okay, now you've got your PID document, and then you can actually connect Codex into this PID document. So the next thing that happens now is Codex actually builds out the app that they've just come up with. And then you have another agent that comes in here that's connected to this app and then works on the wireframes or the improving the UI. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like I've used N8N before and I found it confusing. And I know that like this is still possible within N8N, but I think the way that I want this to work is that it's an environment where you can almost do everything. You can brainstorm, you can come up with the idea, you can build autonomous app factories. Like there's a big range here, and yeah, I feel like we do differentiate from N8N a little bit. And you said VS is complex. You're building something pretty complex. Yeah, I know. But the thing is, I think I've gotten good at prompting AI to build out my vision. I still don't know how to look at code. You're right, you're building for you. Take brain power to think like a computer and build systems. Hey bro, just starting on my journey with building things. I'm non-technical, have a few ideas, but don't feel like any of them will bring in a lot of money. What journey would you recommend? I would say, I mean, it depends how you're coming up with those ideas, you know? Do like research. AI is powerful these days. You can do research, you know? I always like to go to Reddit and look up how I can find like pain points. Because if you have an idea, find a community on Reddit and validate your idea. Either make a comment, a tweet, a post, or check if anyone has the same pain points as you. Like if I wrote the word script in here, you can see a bunch of people posting here, like trouble writing scripts. Please help me. Is my script okay? I now understand how valuable the script is. Script, how do you guys do it? Does one simply wing it, or do you guys make a script then read it? So there's all these things about anyone else struggle with scripts. 3 months ago, like I wrote a 28-page script and scrapped the video. Like you want to find your pain point and see that other people also have that pain point. And then you can build off of your tool. And then once you build it, you want to give it away for free, because if no one's going to use your tool, even when you give it away for free, then it's basically useless. So that's kind of how I'd go about it. I don't know if that helps. Keep going, keep doing it. I have started off with the basics, like doing Supabase, Vercel, Cursor, Claude Code, but just feel like a newbie. I mean, the best way to not be a newbie is to just keep doing it, bro. Yeah, I love Ace. I think this is going to be great. I was more just challenging the N8N threat. Like, is it real? Doesn't sound like it, to be honest. Ace stands on its own. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Tim. Like, I might need to look into N8N a bit more, to be honest. Like, I think the threat is there, but I think their vision is different. And that's kind of how I see it. N8N is in its own lane. Like, yeah, we kind of solve similar problems, but I feel like who this is built for and this tool itself is specifically like agentic workflows. In N8N, you can do all sorts of stuff outside of like agentic workflows. So yeah, I don't know. It feels different. It feels different. If I had to kind of say, I would probably say N8N and Miro had a baby. For those who haven't used Miro before, it's basically like this whiteboard. Is it Miro or Miro? And you can basically come up with ideas. I don't want to log in, but it's this whiteboard and you can come up with ideas. Maybe this is a better example. So this is Excalidraw. And you can basically come up with ideas and brainstorm and do diagrams and graphs and stuff. And so I want to be able to, users to be able to come in here and have this functionality and then be able to literally connect this diagram as context to an AI agent. Like, that's my vision. So if I can make that come to life, then all of a sudden you have a tool now where you are able to brainstorm start to finish the entirety of your app. You could build the app inside of here. You could brainstorm the app inside of here. You could even set up the marketing inside of here. If I can get the connectors working and you can connect subreddits and stuff and Reddit accounts and stuff. I run a live streaming company, so I build tools around that. So I know what issues there are in live production. That's cool. Thanks, mate. Came across your channel for the first time. Really like the idea. Appreciate it, bro. Like me starting to use teleprompter a bit more to see if prompter will stand on its own, I guess. Yeah, same vibes. Hey, Doobie, hosting a hackathon next month. It's me, Senor, by the way. Yo, what up, Senor? How you doing? You hosting your own hackathon? What's the prize pool? I'm using Playwright MCP and having Claude help me with my infra. A dumb idea, lol? Nah, not at all. I think Playwright is a great use case. I think Playwright is especially good for testing out your app and seeing if it's working. Nice. So if I expand this, oh, that is clean. That is super clean. I love it. I love it. This is exactly what I was aiming for. And double click, go back here. Perfect. Cool, that looks good. Reset stale whiteboard agent count. I noticed when I bring an agent into the whiteboard for the first time, it automatically connects to the output block. I don't think this is necessary when there's multiple agents. For example, if I bring in my first agent into the whiteboard, it makes sense that it needs to connect to an output block. But the second agent doesn't need to connect to an output block. And I noticed I can't actually remove that connection. Like, I can't delete it when I click on the string. So it's just connected to an output block unless I connect it to an agent, which, you know, it's up to the user whether they want to connect it to the second agent to an output block or not. Like, it's not really necessary. It can just sit there useless, and they can connect it later while they're setting it up or something. Or they could connect it to Claude or another AI agent and get them to debate with one another and synthesize. And, you know, part of getting it to do something as well is if I can connect it to an output block, and once something pops up inside of the output block, the agent can then do something with that output block. So let's say I connect a new agent into the workspace, and then I connect it to the output block. And once the previous agents who synthesize an answer goes to the output block, like how to build a specific app, then an agent connected to that output block is then able to go out and build an app. Right now, that feels disconnected, and it feels just a bit forced because this string auto connects to the output block and users can't set it up themselves manually. So TLDR, when there's one agent being added into the workspace for the first time, yes, it should definitely be connected to an output block. But when there's two agents, that second agent that gets added doesn't need to automatically connect to the output block, and it does not need to be forcibly connected as well. Like, I can't delete the string anymore. But what is the other project about? Premiere Pro plugin. So this is basically a plugin that helps me copy paste images into my Premiere Pro workflow. Because if you've ever edited videos before, you know you need to save every image to add it into Premiere Pro. This lets you just copy paste and it looks at your clipboard. Just super simple. We're looking at over 45K in credits and prizes. You heard you talking about N8N. They actually sponsoring us. Damn, bro. How'd you get an N8N sponsorship? You just reach out? Is it just you, or you got a community? Like, what's the go? How you been liking Codex with Conductor? Should I switch from Claude Code? Dude, Codex 5.5 is a freaking game changer, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, just try it and you'll see for yourself. Codex 5.5 is really on the money, man. Like, I just don't have to re-explain things. I love it. It's really, really good. Me and my non-profit that I run. What's the non-profit? Okay, if I pasted a URL, is it gonna work this time? Okay, it still wasn't able to show the image. Let's try a YouTube video. Oh, this is nice. Cool, the YouTube videos work. Now, this link from Twitter is not working. That's cool. I like that the YouTube videos work. But the X is not working. Let me try an article. AI Claude Code article, random one. Okay, we've got the Claude Code documents here. Let's see if this comes out. I mean, that's not bad. Claude Code overview, Claude Code docs. Okay, so we've got 3 things here. You can see X didn't show the image. So if I was actually to click on here, it doesn't show me the image, which is fine. Ooh, audio would be interesting. So let me just take a screenshot of this. Go to Conductor. Paste this in here. I'm just going to try a repo now. Okay, that's nicer, but yeah, again, still having issues. Could be because it's one word, but still, that's a problem. Seems to be working well. However, I noticed that with the Twitter link, it still wasn't able to show the image. So is it possible we can fix that? Let me try an Instagram reel. Yeah, okay. So there's 2 things. Instagram and Twitter. We can fix that. Seems like the Instagram link, it just shows the Instagram logo instead of the actual thumbnail of the Instagram video. You can also see that the GitHub repo, the title still comes out of the border for the block, so it doesn't really make much sense. It's called Code Starters. Yo, Senor, tell us more about your non-profit, bro. I'm curious. What do you guys do? I think a cool attachment we can add to the sidebar, left-hand side, is voice. And when you click it and drag it to the whiteboard, it actually lets you record your voice, and you can actually just explain your idea through recording, but that will also require voice annotation. So we need to think about, how is the transcript coming out of that voice in order for the AI to understand it. In the front end, it should just look like a voice recording. And then in the back end, the AI should be able to transcribe that into whatever the user has said in that recording. All right, let's commit and push this. Build never tracked in Git history, only by checkpointed. Committing it would bloat the repo and isn't part of the runtime publishing flow. Want me to skip it? It's a build artifact. Skip it. but we still want to add the animation that you've just built out. In order for it to show up on the map, we need to merge. The link isn't going to come through, Senor, because YouTube blocks links in the chat for some reason. Sure, we're trying to teach people about AI coding tools and coding in general and provide classes and such. How many users or active community members do you guys have? You can chuck the link in the Discord though, in the show off channel. People would probably join and be interested for sure. What's our codex usage looking at? We're at 64%, man. Damn. Oh, they reset our weekly limit. I think they reset it. Has Sam Altman said anything? We are gonna do something nice for everyone who applied for the GPT 5.5 party and that we didn't have space for. Hope you enjoy. I think they just reset our... Yo, Agent SDK 2.0 is underrated. Isn't that Claude? Oh, okay. No, that's Codex's own version. Yeah, okay. I think they might have reset Codex's limits. Cool. I'm not complaining. I love that. They've been resetting it so much lately. It's codestarters.xyz. Where do you get most of your ideas for vibe coding projects? Brainstorming ideas in Miro, researching Reddit, X, or own problems that need solving like this project? I actually think I'm got a bit of an advantage because I talk to you guys every day and you know, I'm constantly able to see firsthand inside of my own community, you know, the problems that everyone has and the struggles that people face. So I think that's kind of how I've been looking at my recent ideas. Night everyone, Doobie keep streaming bro, good luck with Ace. Appreciate you man, thanks for popping in. Appreciate the advice you gave earlier as well. Peace out. Oh, that's nice, but I think we are aiming to teach the younger channel and the hackathon is IRL only. Oh, okay, fair enough. Where's it based? Ideas stem from real life for me. 32 gigabytes of RAM that cost me $180 a couple years ago is now 1K. No freaking way. I'm pretty sure my computer's got 64 gigabytes of RAM on it. You're joking. 64 GB of RAM. I mean, it's saying 64 gigabytes here is worth 1,000, which is insane, dude. Man, I could definitely sell my computer for a decent amount right now. I had an RTX 4060, 64 gigabytes of RAM with 64 gigabytes of RAM. What else did I have? And I think one TB of SSD. I think this is what I had. Computer with, and I had like a bunch of LED fans. I don't know if that counts. That's going for not that much actually. To be fair, it's not showing the amount of RAM. So I bet the RAM would bump it up a fair bit. I think I had an i7 or something as well. I need to look at it. I think I had an i7. i7. It might have even been an i9. Yeah, I could probably sell it for a decent amount right now. It's DDR5 6000, which is probably why, but yeah, it's insane. Bro, that's insane. What computer? I made like a custom computer maybe a few years ago. Cupertino, but Hackathon is in San Francisco. All right, good luck, bro. Good luck with that shit. We are hosting in Zoe Computer's office. Hey, that's huge, bro. Congrats. Happy for you, bro. Hope everything goes smoothly. Have you run events and stuff before? I feel like there's like, that's a whole nother can of worms, right? Okay. Just said hey. Nice, we got this 3 orbs going. Looks sick. I think we could actually remove the reading intent. Actually, I think this looks great. I reckon we could actually just show the 3 orbs animation, and I reckon we only have 1 bar at the bottom that says, you know, reading intent or explaining what's kind of happening. And that way it looks a bit cooler. I think the Claude Gemini Codex animations should actually pop up on the agents themselves. So, you know, if we have Claude, Gemini, and Codex hooked up to this, it would show an animation on top of Claude saying that it's being worked, and on top of Gemini and on top of Codex, rather than all inside of the output block, because I feel like that would actually look cooler and portray the information better. But yeah, that animation looks sick. Super happy with it. Not really? Yeah, good luck, man. I feel like that's a whole nother can of worms. Yeah, I noticed that the arrow animations just look different now. And I'm not entirely sure if I love it. I don't love the glowing animation that comes from the Claude and Codex agents, because it overlaps on top of the arrow, and so it feels like cheap and rushed in terms of UI design. When the arrow isn't glowing, it's made up of tiny little dashes. And I would actually prefer if it was just those tiny little dashes that would glow, rather than this overlaying glow effect kind of happening. Try and get a screenshot of that. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's get Claude on that shit right now. getting this every time I start a new chat with Claude for some reason. Bit weird, not sure why. When there is a new update, we get this little notification in the bottom left-hand side corner, and I don't love how it is designed. There's like so much text everywhere, and it kind of defeats the purpose of being this simple, easy to look at update notifier that you can just look at and instantly understand like what's available for updating. I also think maybe we could implement a tiny scroll feature that lets you see all the updates, but it's saying merge pull request and hashtag 143, like all that information is unnecessary. We just need to see the exact feature that is being updated. We don't need to see the nitty gritty of the GitHub repos and the merges and the pulls. I would like to redesign this so it is more minimalistic and more in line with the overall vibe of the app itself. Hey bro, I've seen a couple of your YouTube shorts and just got recommended this live stream. I watched your recent video on how I'd use a one person, but I didn't fully understand it. You got any recs on how to fully grasp what you're talking about? Even now, I'm not sure what you're doing. I mean, is it just because of the terminology that I'm using, or because you can't understand my accent? Or is there something else? And have you vibe coded before? Dude. They need to fix that. I mean, I don't have a coding background. I've been hearing about AI automation. I have coded a website with Manus. I did hear negative regarded vibe coding may have security issues, which made me rethink. I mean, I think you just got to get started, bro. At the end of the day, vibe coding, I look at it as like a validation, right? So if you build something with AI and you vibe code it, then you can now validate it and see if people even care. And then if people do care and if money's coming in, then you can switch to, you know, a developer coming in and checking the security behind your tool and stuff. But there's lots of different ways to handle security as well. And I reckon you shouldn't overthink the security aspect of it, because first, can you even get users so the security matters, you know? Because if you overthink the security aspect, you don't even know if you can get users for your app yet. You know what I mean? But dude, I reckon you just got to get your hands dirty, man. Open up Claude, open up Codex, and just start typing and just try and bring something small to life, whether it helps you with your homework or it helps you with whatever you're trying to do. It could be maybe teaching your parents how to do something. You create like an AI coach for it or something really simple that has 1 or 2 features max. Try and build it with AI, not a website, like an actual app. And you're going to learn so much just from doing that. That's what I would do. Slyfawn, what's good, fam? Let's get another big day, eh? Yes, sir. That's the plan. That's what we doing. That's what we out here doing, man. That's what we out here doing, man. Let me have a look at this. So let me just check that if I bring a new agent in now, okay, doesn't automatically connect, and I can get that going. Okay, cool. Can I connect this to this? Can we confirm that when this context is added and connected to the debate label, that both agents now have access to that context? Also, if context is added multiple times, can we make sure to not overlap and constantly reread that context as well? Like it just knows like, okay, we need to only read this once. Also, if the context is attached to Claude and then Codex and Claude are both debating something to synthesize an output, does Claude have access to that context or not? Or Codex have access to that context or not really? Yeah, appreciate it. What would you recommend I start on? Claude Code, Manus, Twin AI? I reckon Claude, bro. Just start at Claude. It's the easiest to understand and you'll be able to wrap your head around things and learn a lot faster with Claude. You could try Codex as well. Seems to be working well, however I noticed that the Twitter link, okay, so this is fixed apparently. So now, if I bring out a new tweet, copy this. I've brought in a new link. Paste in the tweet. Okay, nice. Now we get a little image. So I think what we could do is maybe have the image bigger at the bottom. Let me retry and do another Instagram reel. Bring this on here. It just says Instagram reel. So Instagram's not working fully, which is fine, honestly. We don't need it to work for now. We can just focus on these. And I think I might actually go into Canva real quick. Go on here and just kind of explain to the AI visually what I'm looking for. Thanks. What about OpenClaw? I saw your video on OpenClaw. I reckon I'd probably maybe look into Hermes Agent. I think Hermes Agent is definitely a better alternative at the moment. Man, I tried to get OpenClaw to work, man, and I just couldn't. It just kept crashing. Hey yo, Ace is looking clean. I passed on the message, by the way. Don't like the light theme ofs, but here's my quick assessment. Ooh, map, vector canvas with no constraints. Yes, sir. And it's also, if you don't like the light mode, here's dark mode for you. Check it out. Check it out. And then I can just double click to get lined up. And you know, if you just want a simple ChatGPT-like interface, there you go, right here, as you can see. Yes, yes, very cool, very swag. And dude, don't even let me show you the animation on this bad boy. You ready for this? Hey guys, look at that shit. Look at them two talking to each other. And then if I include Gemini, there'll be like a blue orb that actually gets involved as well. So yeah, I know it's pretty swag. I know it's pretty cool. Keep your lightsaber in your pocket. Anyway, let me get Canva out. And then currently this is what it looks like. But I actually kind of want the card to look a bit more like this. Image. Out to edges, taking up whole, out to edges, no border. Kind of want it to feel like in Discord when you do it, you know? And then got like a tiny little bar here. So probably go add this, change this to green. Dark mode good, soft gradients good, glass blur and transparent good, layout good, glows good, and not overdone. Perhaps maybe in some areas. Look at line interactions with mouse, etc. Themes, config, abstracted layers for packaging and delivery. Align with BYO every module. It aligns with Mac OS. So it's packaged so that you can download it on any Mac or iOS device and it will work. But yeah, brother, looking fantastic. We need to spend some time watching and ripping it apart. Thanks for the quick run through. All good, bro. Appreciate your feedback as well. This could be like the syncing. And then I think we need title. Title, source, I think that's good enough. Yeah, maybe like that. Here is a reference image of what is currently being outputted, and on the right hand side I've given you an example of how I would kind of want it to look. I want the image to be bigger, less kind of cropped within this border. I think we could like make it bigger and so it looks visually a bit more pleasing. Then at the bottom we've got the index loading bar, and I think it should actually say like when it's loading and being indexed, like 20% indexed, 30% indexed, and then 100% indexed. At the top you've got the title, which will be, you know, bold, kind of in bold letters, and then underneath the title you have the source, whether that's YouTube, Instagram, wherever. As well as additional info here. All right, let's send that. What platform are you on right now? Is this N8N? You got Rex on where to learn this. My fault if this is obvious, but honestly, I can't grasp why people who know how to code wouldn't populate this market. I mean, they are populating this market. This tool that you're seeing is an N8N. This is my own app that I built called Ace, which is an agentic coding environment. And the way that I would make money from this is once it's complete, I would just release it and just be like, hey, $10, $15 a month. If anyone's interested, anyone can use it now. Just like that. You know, I have a little bit of an advantage though, because, you know, I've been making content. So my distribution is kind of a bit more sorted than if you were starting out for the first time. But, that's part of what you also got to consider as well. Like, okay, maybe if you don't know how you plan on selling your tool, maybe you got to start making content. Maybe you got to think about maybe setting that up as well. Post one video a week and slowly grow over the next year. And maybe by the end of the year, you'll be able to have some distribution as well, because at the end of the day, if anyone can build anything now, AI is so good. Someone like me who has no coding experience is able to build a tool like this, we're cooked. So the only moat left is distribution. And so, yeah, I think people got to start thinking about how can they create that distribution. And I thought I'd do it through content, but you could do it through newsletters, Twitter, you could do it through Reddit. There's so many different ways to do it. Let me see. What changed? The document connected to debate label is now sent as context to every agent participated in that debate. The same document is deduped per agent, even if it is connected multiple ways. The WebSocket boundary also dedupes repeated document context by node ID. A document connected directly to Claude stays scoped to Claude Codex does not receive that raw document unless Claude includes information from it in its own debate response. Maybe I get a quick review on this. Acknowledge, ready to commit, and open a PR when you confirm. Want me to commit the changes? Merge. I think it might have already been merged. You don't have coding experience? Thanks, man. What is the app about? Also, have you made money from anything else with AI that you also found benefit from? If you can't code, how did you make Ace? Just by, like you can see here, all I'm doing is I'm prompting the AI and I'm just explaining to it what I see. So here I'm like, okay, maybe I don't like this onboarding phase. I can just go ahead and prompt and be like, hey, fix up the onboarding phase. I don't like that it pops up the moment I install the app. As simple as that, right? And then AI will go out and fix it, and then I might need to debug it. And you just need to be really good at explaining what you want. You need to be very concise and capable of, directing the AI so it doesn't get confused and do the wrong thing. That's all vibe coding is now. And that's how I made Ace. Agent coding environment for Claude, Codex, and Gemini. Ace runs your models together, then helps write, review, debate, and refine until the output is great. Just type naturally. Ace auto detects whether you want a PRD, code, review, brainstorm. So we probably need to change this onboarding section. Should save these. So let me go into Canva. The animations are really cool though. I will say that. Oh, I need a Claude login again. Let me quickly do that. Appreciate the explanations. Best of luck. All good, bro. Glad I could help, man. Login successful. Let's give it a recheck. So I did this and in the onboarding phase, it has told me to copy this command and paste it into the Claude terminal. You can see here below is the pasted terminal that I have already completed this. However, when I hit the recheck button, it is saying that I am not connected to the Claude CLI anymore. So can we look into why this is happening and fix it? I wonder if Claude would be best at this. I mean, all right, let's try that. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Does this actually work? Okay. What is the best, cheapest tool that we can use for voice annotation? Do some research and look into what we could potentially use. While being cheap, we also want it to be reliable and high quality. While also being efficient and lightweight, we don't want something that is, making the app slower, for example. In my head, I'm thinking Google's Gemini Flash might be all right. I'm not sure if he can do audio. Great stream again, Doobie. Off to bed. In my case, because exams are closing in. Will you stream again tomorrow? Yes, sir, bro. Get some sleep. I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace out. I noticed after restarting the app, it took me through the onboarding phase again, and I lost all my previous whiteboards that I had created and set up. Can we look into why this happened and making sure it doesn't happen again? When an app is updated or reconfigured, we shouldn't be losing this information, because users could spend hours setting up their whiteboards. It needs to remain persistent. All right, let's put this stream in here and let's see if that works. Kind of. Oh, it did work. Give it a restart, see if the new updates come through. Oh, nice. Looks way cleaner. Although the arrows look cropped in. Looks great. The only thing I noticed is when I hover over it, the connector dots are cropped inside of it rather than outside of it, like you can see in other elements. Also, can we make the bottom section where it says indexed, can we make that smaller? I don't think the border needs to be that big. It should be very tight in that area, that bottom section. So now if I say, hey, yep, they're thinking together, cool. Nothing really showing there though, which is fine. there's something wrong with the arrows, I've noticed. There is an issue with the connectors right now. When I go to connect, it's working. There's an issue with the connectors where I can't actually delete a connector right now. The context connector is not letting me delete it. Also, it used to be that it would be a little circle bead animation, except we're getting this glowing animation now. Is this the right one? I need to find where the right one is. I don't love the glowing animation that comes from Claude Age. Okay, this one. Windhoek is the right one. I'm getting mixed up. I only said to change the glowing animation when two agents are connected. There should be the other animation that showed the little circles that were transferring on the purple connector. That animation was nice and I wanted to keep that, but it looks like you've changed all the animations to follow this one thing. So you've actually not followed what I wanted and you've changed too much. I want to keep the animation that you've done for the agents with the glowing dashes, but I want you to bring back the circular animation where it was flowing through the stream or the string. And that seemed to happen when an agent would connect to an output, like a synthesized answer, or if a context was connected to an agent. And I think that distinction is important. I'm getting confused. I need to remove some stuff. What one was this? Does it update? It does look cleaner. So let me just go ahead and remove this. When there's a new update, we get it. Yeah, we can archive that. Porto, I think looks great. I reckon the 3 orbs animation, and I reckon we could. Show on top of the Claude saying. I noticed there isn't really any animation that occurs on top of the AI agent block, like I mentioned. It looks great. The synthesizer answer is animating the way I wanted it to, but the agents themselves are not actually animated at all. But I honestly think it's fine, so I might just leave it. Can we confirm that when this context is added in okay, cool. Grok, whisper large, best V1 voice about direct support, dedicated ASR, low app impact. if we want transcript plus AI interpretation, one model call, very cheap, supports audio, but needs compatible audio formats or conversion. But more expensive than Grok, currently fails when. Is it possible to use whatever AI model the user provides, so we don't need to attach any additional tools? So if a user has added their Gemini API, or their Gemini is connected natively, then we automatically just use Gemini Flash for that. Or if their codec, if their Claude or ChatGPT is connected, then we use, GPT-4o Mini transcribe. Or if Claude is connected, we use Claude. Is that possible? Commit, push, and open the PR. Connections for voice transcript. Summary, avoid adding a new transcript vendor. Do not use Claude for raw transcription. Claude can consume the finished frame, but like every other agent. I think we also need to add a notification if a user tries to add a recording and they only have Claude natively connected. Then it's just not going to work, right? So maybe some sort of warning if they only have Claude connected and they try to use the record function. It could even be as easy as like hollowing out the record function button on the left-hand menu, and when they hover over it, it's just a tooltip that says unavailable until ChatGPT or Gemini is connected. Something like that. And yeah, let's configure this so that we can use pre-existing tools to annotate our voice. Rich Ducat, what's cracking? God damn, there's my homeboy. It's been weeks, it feels like. I'm thinking dude got rich off something. That's funny. I mean, to be fair, the long form content has been popping off. So I just focused a bit more on that side of things. And yeah, the sponsorship deals were coming in. The, YouTube ad revenue was coming in. So I was like, you know what, let me focus on this for a little bit before I go back into the live streams. That's exactly what I did. And now I'm keen to just go hard on the live streams, man. Just like I used to. How you been, bro? You been good? What's cracking with you? PI is already merged on GitHub. Great. That's exactly what we're looking for. Wait for that update to come in. Any second now. The little tags inside of the left-hand side repo agent instance bar doesn't actually correctly show the right agents. So if I have only Codex inside there, it still shows Claude and Codex. I noticed if I have Gemini in there, the Gemini tag does pop up. So maybe look into fixing this so it works dynamically with the amount of agents inside of it. Bro, congrats, inspiring me to get on making content again. I've been good, bro. 5 apps in iOS, 3 in review. Building a ton of apps for clients who downloaded Applet and quit 2 days ago, 2 days in. Hustling. Damn, bro. Good to see you're pumping. Good to see you're pumping away at it, man. Got to get onto the content, man. Like I said, distribution is the only moat now, man. So if you can lock in distribution, then you're set. Glad you're doing well, bro. We are at 48% of our 5-hour limit. Man, we've been pumping through this too, so that's crazy. Funny, Rich Ducat always pops in like when I'm like close to finishing up the stream. It's kind of funny. Do you wake up late or like finish work at a certain time or something? Just trying to figure out why. Oh, nice. We got the beads in. So if I were to add in an agent, and that agent is Claude. Nice, looking good. There we go. Bro, you inspired me to go hard and just push stuff out. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad, man. Gee, that's exactly why I do this shit, man. I'm glad I could inspire you, bro. Man, that warms my heart. Thank you. Gonna make me blush, man. Shit, gonna make a grown man blush. You gonna make a grown man blush, bro? You finding much revenue coming through? How's the money side looking for you right now? Is it working well for you? Bills are getting paid? I work 5 a.m. to like 10, 11 and fit in lifestyle shit in between, like music, kids, etc. But I'm a single dad and my time is split, so I time batch hard to stay focused. Lots of Pomodoro. Damn, bro. Whoa. That's a crazy lifestyle, bro. Holy shit. Props to you, man. Props to you for hustling so hard, bro. Keep it up, man. I'm sure shit's gonna come work out for you, man. Dude, I reckon like when you make content, you should like get your kids involved somehow. I don't know. I feel like the way that I always look at it is like, what is your personality trait that you can bring into the content to make it feel more unique? For me, I feel like I just like to chuck in a bunch of memes because I feel like I really enjoy memes and you know, that's kind of me. I try to bring in a little bit more of my like age as well. You know, I'm a bit younger. I feel like I'm a bit more like, you know, looking at the brain rot and the trends and stuff. So I try to bring that in a little bit. I feel like with the content, it's always like, what part of your personality can you bring in? And I feel like kids is low-key like, it's a good way to like knock two birds with one stone where you could like, you know, hang out with your kids, but you can also make content. I don't know, even just like holding like piggybacking your kid while you explain something, or like holding if you have two, holding one on each side, and like I don't know. That's just where my head goes. PR is open and clean against main per the Duo code flows. I'm curious how many hours of sleep you're getting, bro. Like, working till 5 a.m. to like 10, 11, man. Jesus. Those are crazy hours, man. Far out. Putting me to shame right now. I've been building a business in the veterans benefits industry for 3 years now, and it's ripping this year. I also do media buying for a few Fortune 100 companies, and I'm a fully solo team, 6 or 7 hours. Holy shit. Dude, congrats, bro. I'm glad it's starting to rip for you, bro. Fuck yeah, man. That's great. That's great to hear. So you use AI much to like help with you have to be using AI, right? Like I'm thinking, how else are you able to juggle all of this? Like you need AI to like optimize your efficiencies a little bit, surely. I sleep, but I'm also wild high functioning ADHD and can live off no sleep and smoke a lot, and I'm 38. Damn, dude. I need sleep. I'm high functioning, I feel. I got self-diagnosed by a doctor the other day. Apparently I'm high functioning and slightly autistic, but I need my sleep, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I've always needed sleep. Sleep has been really big for me. It's to the point where I literally won't work at night. I'll rather wake up extra early in the morning to get all my work done, so I don't need to do it at nighttime. Like nighttime for me is like my safe haven, my little sacred spot. Cool. That looks like that's sorted. Okay, is existing. This is the one thing left. I'll probably let this run. PR is open and clean against main until the merges and runtime merge. All right. Well, I might wrap it up here. Honestly, pretty good session. I feel like we got a lot done. The app actually functions and works now, which is kind of cool. We've got everything running. My old boss wrote the book on image gen for Google in 2018, company called Envoy Media Group, and I had Sandbox GPT. Anyone knew it existed? So short answer, yes, I need to share my media buyer skills. Dude, 110%. That's sick. Damn, your old boss wrote the book on image gen for Google. That's actually insane. Damn. See, I feel like that unintentionally, you don't realize it, but things like that have such a big impact on like you as a person, right? Like little things like that where you get influenced and now you're just very AI native naturally. It's really interesting. Get y'all paid, and I feel that. Chief, I've burnt that candle though, and you learn that it comes in seasons. Willpower is not always in will call. True. Yeah, his name is Michael Taggart. Damn, I thought you were about to say Michael Targaryen. I was like, damn, this ain't Game of Thrones, bro. I haven't checked my YouTube earnings for today yet, so before I wrap up, let's go ahead and have a look. Keep it transparent with you guys on how things are going on that end. I feel like I can't really share it that much since it has nothing to do with Vibecoding. So, the number looks the same, but there's money coming in. It's just not through Vibecoding. So I like to kind of share it. But for the month, we're at $3,400 just from YouTube ad revenue. And when it comes to sponsorship deals, like this video alone made $2,000. And I was kind of telling everyone yesterday, this last couple of weeks that I haven't been live streaming, I actually was focusing on sponsorship deals, and I got paid fat this month, man. Like just on sponsorship deals alone, like I don't have all the screenshots, but like roughly it's well over $20,000 this month just on sponsorship deals. So you can kind of see them popping up a little bit more as well on the channel. Now I try to stick to at least maybe one max a month. Like this is a sponsorship video. This has like a 60-second sponsorship slot. You can see right there. This also has a 60-second integration spot. So sponsorships are flying. I probably get maybe 2 or 3 sponsorship deals a day right now. But yeah, that's kind of how things are going on the content side. Have you used Higgsfield to market? Yes, that's kind of what I'm experimenting right now. So I've been looking into Higgsfield for marketing, and you can use it to generate AI UGCs, like literally like 100 of them. It's really cool. So watch out for that video. But anyway, I'm going to wrap up the live stream here, guys. Mainly because it is getting a bit a bit late. Time for me to have lunch and pump out some YouTube content. I've got a video that I need to film and another video that I need to edit. So I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. Thank you for joining today. And yeah, I'm happy with the amount of progress that we made with the app. It's coming along really quickly, and I'm excited to give you guys access to it when it's available. But yeah, peace out. Hope you all have a good day. Peace out, Rich Ducat. Thanks for popping in at the end there. Sahibai, I'll catch you later. PN, have a good night. AE Soccer, peace out. Slyfawn, thanks for popping in. Public, Senor, Kevin, Grizzly, Defia TV, Magicy, Tim. I'll catch you guys later. Risha, peace out, peace out, peace out. I hope you guys were able to get some work done while having me on in the background. And I'll catch you guys later. See ya. Bye.